Greetings and hello, this is Austin from Austin's American Flyer YouTube channel. It's good to see all of you again, and today I wanted to try something a little different. Probably not something you've seen on another train channel, especially those that are on the collector's side of things. Today we're going to talk about an idea of, or a suggestion, or start a conversation. Take your pick on some ways we can make passing on the love of trains to future generations maybe a bit more tangible, a bit more interesting. Stick around. You know, for you and I, when we come into a room and we see something like this behind me up on a wall, we're thinking a lot more things other than just the fact that there are trains on the wall or toys on a wall. We're taken back. We're remembering events that happen around these trains, conversations with friends, different things that happened regarding trains. So there's a nostalgia and an affinity and certainly some emotions that are connected with the toys. And so they are more than just toys to us. And so how do we communicate that? How do we share that in a way that will help others say, you know what, that's really neat. I'd like to be a part of that. I'd like to be a steward of these things because there's value to them beyond the fact that they're kind of neat and they're kind of old. There's value to them. They have a story. So today, I'm hoping I can ask you to join me. I've got a couple examples, and maybe these are terribly corny, so I admit that. But I'm hoping we can start a conversation. There's probably some better ideas out there, but please join me. Those of you that are collectors, and let's talk about this. How can we take something we love dearly, and that's a part of who we are, and instill that in future generations? So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so here we have a Hudson-style steam engine, and it's a 326. And this engine has an interesting story. It was purchased originally by a gentleman who's no longer with us, and his son sold the train to me. And one of the things that's a little bit on the unique side about this engine and the set that came with it is it's in remarkable condition. The cars looked as if they've never been played with. They don't have scratches or play wear on them. Cars that had electrical pickup have wheels that had no tarnish, no dirt on them. And they came with all the boxes with, you know, full tabs and everything. And the only thing that wasn't perfect about this set was the steam chest and the boiler, where those two come together, or I should say the cylinders in the bottom of the boiler where those come together, that was broken. So I've repaired that. But you know, here's a story of a set that was bought, and obviously a lot of care was taken to preserve it. And so those of you that are into collecting and have mint condition pieces would probably think nothing about that. For me, I wonder, you know, how many times did people want to play this run this train, and they were told not to touch it because, you know, we don't want to break it, we don't want to get it dirty. I don't know. Just something I wonder. This next one here is another Hudson. This is a 322, and it's got the SIT, or the steam and chuff unit in the tender. This engine is one that I found in a basement when I went to a customer's house and I was working in the HVAC industry. And in a dark corner on the floor, I saw something that looked like Flyer. And I was so curious, so I went and looked, and sure enough, this engine and another engine, let's see if I can find that one, Yes, this steam engine right here, this 302, as well as several cars were part of that set. And I was just very excited because it looked like they were being prepared for sale. And so I asked the customer, would you be interested in selling those? And he said yes. And in my excitement, I paid way too much money. And when I got home, I discovered that a couple of these driving wheels were broken on this Hudson. And one thing led to another, and I actually ended up buying an entire new frame, wheel set, motor assembly. So basically everything under the shell has been replaced because it was in such worn out shape. And so that's kind of an interesting story. It's the first time that I had a major overhaul to do on an engine, and it works real good. And so that's unique. All right, I'm going to jump over to this engine here. This lowly 307 shell is an Atlantic that I grew up with. And it actually does not have the correct shell on it. It should be a 21105 is the proper number for the shell. But as a child, I had an unfortunate incident where it hit the floor and the shell broke on the inside, and also the motor itself broke. And it was just a terribly difficult situation. I felt so terrible. And my dad found a gentleman who worked on Flyer and Lionel, and his solution was to swap out the shell, and the motor will actually stay together even though it's in a couple pieces if you are gentle when you reassemble it. And so this is what I grew up with, and I put a lot of miles on this engine. I ran it, and it has been a faithful runner. Still smokes real good. This was one of the later ones from 1960, 61-ish, so it's got the two-part E unit in the back, and that no longer works very well, so I've debated if I should fix that or not. You can see I rewired it at one point because the plug was so loose that, just the jostling down the rails, it would stop and start. But this has a lot of memories. In addition to all the memories I have as a child running this, and all the different layouts I made and the friends that would come over and run stuff with me, it was given to me by my father. So it has some real special memories with it, and so that's kind of neat. And I, of course, have the other cars to go with it. So these are just, these are just a couple ideas of ways we could pass on to future generations some of the value that some of this stuff has outside of being just cool. And so, as I mentioned earlier, if you would, let me know your thoughts. Are there some other things, other ways we could engage others in conversations that would help increase the level of interest? And basically what we're doing is we're bringing trains to a level that intersects with our culture, because the culture is just different than it used to be, and experiences are different. And so storytelling is something that has never gone out of style. It's something that still appeals. So that's the reason I'm suggesting this be a part of our collections. And I don't know how you do that. Do you put it on a video like I'm doing right now? Do you write it out? Again, conversation starters. So please let me know your thoughts. As always, thanks a lot for tuning in today. If you're at all interested and you haven't yet, please subscribe. Would love to have you join the channel. And if you notice my shirt that I'm wearing at all, check out the comments below. I have t-shirts on the Teespring website, and anyone that purchased those, there's a little money that comes back to me, and that helps me with a budget to keep making videos and refurbishing things. So thank you all for those of you that purchased t-shirts. And until next time, take care, stay safe, and have fun with your trains. God bless.